Hello, Patsy Waggoner here from Stamps to Die For. Today I'm going to show you a card I made using the Most Wonderful Time stamp set, actually bundle, because it has these amazing dies that go with it, the Most Wonderful Time dies, and also the heirloom frames, which come with a frame and embossing folder. Now, the Most Wonderful Time of the Year is a product suite or a product medley. So when you buy the stamp set and or the product medley, you get the stamp set, dies, paper to make some amazing cards. So let's get started. We're going to start with a 8.5 by 8.5 by 5.5 piece of cardstock, and I've scored it at 4 1/4. I'm going to take my bone folder and make a nice crease. Now, if you don't have a bone folder, this is a great investment. Gives you nice, crisp folds. Also, scoring gives you that. I am using the Stampin' Up! Whisper White thick cardstock, which makes amazing bases. And here's some of the paper from the Most Wonderful Time of Year. And I'm not going to go into showing you all the products in this suite because I did a video on that last week, and so you might want to pop back and take a look at that video that shows you all of the products in that medley. On this side, you know, our designer paper, this comes 6 by 6. Get 48 sheets, 12 designs, 6 different double-sided designs. And I'm just taking some snail and putting that on the back of this piece of designer paper. And I'm going to cover our card front. So this is going to be our card front here. Now I've taken the frame that I was showing you a few minutes ago. Where did I set it? It's always the wonderful thing. I mean, can't be more than 2 feet from me because I can't reach that far. So I took the frame, the rectangle frame, and cut this out ahead of time with a die cutting machine. I have a Sizzix Big Shot. So this is the die cutting machine, or the die. Comes in an oval and a rectangle. Now, these coordinating embossing folders come with those dies. These are the Stampin' Up! 3D dies or embossing folders. Now, how I line it up is I just go in and look through the frame like this, and when I get it where I want it to go, I squeeze it. Now, the 3D embossing folders are a little bit thinner than the dynamic folders we used to sell. So if you you can either shim, you're going to use this folder, your regular platform, and one plate, but you'd need a shim if you have the standard plate. This is a special shim. They're only $10. That will give you a great impression. So once we run that through our die cut and embossing machine, this is how it comes out. Isn't that cool? Now I've pre-stuck some sticky on here. Stampin' Up! Sells these great long strips. They're usually about this long. I kind of cut them in half. And I'm going to take my scissor and just cut another one in half because I don't need it. I don't need to wrap the whole thing. These are great if you're going to do a shaker card, and then you want to wrap the entire card so that your little shaker things don't fall out. But I'm going to just take this. It just kind of makes it quick and easy. And I pre-cut this. Now I will put all the measurements in the description of this video so you can go back and easily refer to them. So this is one of the card fronts that comes in that Most Wonderful Time of Year. And I'm just going to peel these off. Now if you have trouble getting the backings off some of these, an easy way to do it is to take your piercing tool and just go in and pop them off like that. This is really, really sticky stuff. So once you're getting ready to put it down on your paper, you want to be sure that it is where you want it because you won't be moving it. This one's pretty easy because we're going to just take this piece of paper and lie it on top. Now, if some of the sticky is there, that's okay because we're going to be gluing it onto another piece. So we're going to take our snail again and we're going to just run some snail on here like this, and we're going to line this up on some Real Red Cardstock. Again, I'll be putting the measurements on the description of the video. And we're going to stick this just to the front of our card. Now, you don't need quite this much snail to put it on, but I'm just heavy-handed. And the other thing is, to get snail to really stick, you want to burnish it, which means rub it, you know, pretty good. You won't have any trouble with your cards falling apart if you do that. Now, I've taken and stamped the Christmas tree on some of the star and old olive patterned paper, and I've embossed it. I hope you can see that on here. There is if you've never embossed before, I'm not going to take time to show that today, but I will put a link in the description also showing how to emboss. So I've done that. That is one of our elements, and we're going to stamp these 3 packages. We only need 2, but we're going to stamp 3 of them. So I have pre-set up my Stamparatus. This is a great positioning tool. I have pre-stamped the bows, and I've lined up, so I've just laid this stamp on top of my bows to see where I want it. This is a great way to get your stuff perfect every time rather than trying to eyeball it. So I put a little smoky slate ink on it, and of course sometimes they don't always line up perfectly because I haven't. Oh, but the beauty of this is, do you see how I've missed that little corner? I can go in. That's another wonderful part about a Stamparatus, is I can go in and make sure that package gets stamps without wrecking my paper. Now for the photopolymer stamps, this is a little thin, so normally, and that's why I kind of missed that, is I stick this little silicone mat under here to raise it up just a bit. And also this is multi-purpose. I use that for a lot of other things in my stamping because adhesives won't stick to it, so it makes a great mat. Now for our packages, would take out my little packages. Now the fun part is this cuts out all 3 packages at one time, so you can see how it cuts out the packages at one time. That makes it really quick and easy. You stamp them all. Even if you don't need them all, you can just stamp them all and save some for later. I'm going to put a little snail around the Christmas tree, and I'm going to tuck it in the center of our frame there. And I'm going to take one of the tall package, I'm going to put kind of over in this little left-hand corner. And I want this, I'm going to take my dimensionals, going to pop one of them off, and I'm going to just stick that in this corner here. And now I've pre-cut out the little star, foil star, and I'm going to grab one of these little mini dimensionals, which are so nice because I don't have to cut a dimensional. It fits just nicely on there, and we're going to stick our star at the top. And there is a cute little Christmas card. Now, I'm going to stamp my greeting in Real Red ink on the inside. And this stamp is from the Greatest Part of Christmas stamp set, which is one of the Stampin' Up's host sets. Now you can earn this set absolutely free. Anytime you place a $150 order, you can choose this as part of your host credits. Excuse me. Or you can gather some friends' orders together and we can create a host code, and you can actually still earn this great Christmas greeting stamp set. So I've got my Real Red ink, and I'm going to stamp Merry Christmas in the middle here. Now, I'm sure some of you have noticed that the photopolymer stamps tend to carry a little die stay a little tinted after you're stamped them. So there's a really great, I don't know if it'll show up because this one isn't stamped too badly, but you can take this, it's called Stamp Cleaning Pad, and it'll keep your clear stamps much nicer. But you have to be sure once you put that on to go wash it on the sink right away. You don't want to leave that cleaner on there too long. But I'm just going to show you the difference between this one and another one. So here's one that I've used many times already this year. This is also another one I've used many times this year, but used the stamp cleaner on. Here's one from a previous time that before I had the stamp cleaner, so you can see how much crisper and cleaner these are. Now the stain doesn't come off and it doesn't hurt your stamping, but it does make it easier to see through your stamp, especially where like this one you're going to do two-step stamping. Anyway, that is our day today, and I hope you enjoyed seeing how these heirloom frames work and a Christmas card that was created with them. So thanks for stopping by. Happy stamping!